Ever feel like your career needs a roadmap, like a GPS for success?
Hmm.
Well, that's what we're diving into today with my $0 to $1 million guide.
Right.
Not some get-rich-quick scheme,
Right.
but a strategic, mindset shift on how to navigate your career.
Totally. And it really emphasizes that whole day one mentality.
Okay.
It's like no matter where you are,
Yeah.
you can always hit the reset button and chase those big goals.
There's no excuses, right? Like, I'm too old for this. I'm
Right,
too
yeah.
whatever. Any age.
Any age, any stage, you can reinvent.
Love it. Now, the guide kicks off with this idea of, and this is kind of funny, dabbing,
Okay.
but not the dance move.
Now the dance move.
Thank goodness.
Right.
It's more about this idea of approaching your early career
Yeah.
as a time to explore, to not settle down too soon.
It's like trying on different hats, seeing what fits. They call them these like tours of duty almost.
Okay.
These 18-month stints where you're like, I'm going to dive into this, not just job hopping,
Right, right.
but really experiencing different roles, different industries,
Yeah.
different company cultures to figure out,
Yeah.
what am I good at?
What do I even like?
Yeah,
It's like a tasting menu for work. I like that. But how do you even choose which tours to take?
Oh, that's where the guide throws you a curveball, honestly. It says that being a loser,
A loser.
and
Okay.
by that it means being small, scrappy,
Yeah.
unknown.
Nobody knows your name yet.
Nobody knows your name. It's
Uh.
actually a huge advantage when you're starting out.
Loser's edge. Okay, I'm listening.
Because think about it. When you are just beginning, people are much more willing to help.
Right.
They remember being there.
They've been there. Yeah.
They want to mentor someone with that fresh energy.
Yeah. They're not threatened by you.
Exactly.
You're not competition. You're a blank slate.
You can get those informational interviews.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can get advice from the pros.
Yeah.
Maybe even shadow someone at a company you admire.
Right.
And you're not bogged down by like a huge salary.
Oh, the golden handcuffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've got the freedom to take risks.
Yeah, you can be scrappy.
Be scrappy, try things.
So strategically being a loser early on,
Yes.
that makes sense.
There's a method to the madness.
But eventually you've got to, I don't know, level up.
You got to level up.
Go from dabbing to dominating.
And that's where your unicycle bear comes in.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Right.
What in the world
no,
is
I-
a unicycle bear?
Right.
And what does that have to do with anything?
So it's a metaphor, obviously. And it's really about your unique edge, right?
Mhm.
Success isn't just being good.
Right.
It's about being uniquely good.
Okay, I like that.
So a bear
Yeah.
on a unicycle, you don't see that every day.
That's memorable.
It's memorable. It's different.
You're going to stop and watch that.
You're going to stop and watch. That's what you want your career to be.
I love it. So it's finding that thing, that intersection
Yes.
of your skills, your passions.
That lights you up.
Yeah, that sets you apart from
Yeah.
everybody else.
And it's often like this weird combination of things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're a numbers person, but you love telling stories. That could be your superpower.
Interesting.
You could create an amazing marketing strategy, a brand that really connects.
And I feel like this goes back to that line from the guide, which I loved.
Yes.
It's not about being well known.
It's about being known well.
Yes.
It's the right kind of attention by being uniquely you.
That's good. That's good.
How do we figure out what our own unicycle bear is?
So start by thinking about what comes naturally to you.
Okay, what do I enjoy doing?
Yeah. Even when no one's watching,
Okay,
what are those things that you're drawn to?
okay,
And then think about how those things can combine
okay.
in unexpected ways.
Interesting.
Right.
So if you're feeling stuck,
Yes.
this is how you kind of
Totally.
unstick yourself.
Absolutely.
Find your unique talent. Unleash your inner unicycle bear.
Love it. Now, whether you're climbing that corporate ladder
Yeah,
or building your own thing,
right.
the guide talks about the A-plus problem. What is that?
It's about focusing on the biggest, most impactful challenge.
Yeah.
Every organization, every project has like a hierarchy of problems.
Go.
The A+ problem is at the top.
Got it.
If you solve that, you move the needle the most.
So not getting bogged down in the small stuff, right?
The busy work, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Focus on those high-value tasks.
Find the A-plus problems.
And the author Ari tells this great story
Okay.
about his time at Twitch.
The streaming platform.
Exactly. Their biggest streamer left.
Oh, no.
Huge problem for them. Right?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And he didn't wait for someone to tell him what to do.
He took initiative.
He dug into the data,
Wow.
saw the impact of the streamer leaving,
Okay.
and then wrote this whole memo to the CEO with potential solutions.
Wow. He went straight to the top.
He went straight to the top, tackled that A+ problem, head on.
That's amazing.
Made himself so valuable in the process.
And that got him noticed.
Big time. They pulled him onto the team to address it.
Wow.
He got an incredible experience, and it totally changed his career trajectory.
So by tackling that A-plus problem, he basically created his own luck.
Exactly.
Which, speaking of, is the next thing I wanted to ask you about, because this is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Engineering your own luck. I always thought luck was, well, luck.
It just happens, right?
Yeah, like out of your control.
Right.
But this guide's saying...
You can create the conditions for it.
Yeah.
Think about it, the more visible you are.
Right.
The more you put your work out there,
Yeah.
the bigger the target you have
Right.
for those opportunities to hit.
So it's maximizing your chances of being in the right place, right time.
Yes. But not by chance.
By design.
By design.
That's really interesting. Okay, so how do we engineer some of this luck then?
So share your work consistently. Online. Even if it's just a blog post.
Okay.
Or even like a thought-provoking LinkedIn update.
It's your name out there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Attract those collaborators, mentors.
Yeah, those connections.
And honestly, don't underestimate just asking.
Just ask it.
Reach out to people you admire.
Even if it's intimidating.
Even if it's intimidating.
Yeah.
The author, he landed his dream opportunity
Right.
from a cold email. You just never know.
Wow, okay.
It could be a simple hello or a message saying how much you love their work.
So take action.
Take action.
Create the opportunity.
Exactly. You got it.
All right, I like it. Now let's talk investing, because this is where it gets interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
This guide takes a surprising turn.
Right.
It says, forget the stock market, especially early in your career.
Right.
Invest in yourself first.
Yes. Traditional investing, it's important, but your early career is about investing in you.
Okay, so break that down for me. How do we invest in ourselves?
Okay, so 3 main areas. First, your time.
My time. Okay.
What are those tasks sucking up your energy that don't need to be done by you?
So like administrative stuff?
Yes. Outsource it.
Okay, if it's zapping my creativity.
Well, right. Hire a virtual assistant.
Okay.
If your home life's chaotic, outsource some chores.
Get the mental space.
Exactly. Free up that mental energy for the important stuff.
So it's okay to spend money.
Sometimes you have to spend money to make money.
To make money.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, so that's time. What's number 2?
Invest in your knowledge.
And not just like
Not just reading a book. Yeah.
reading a book a month, right?
It's actively seeking out ways to deepen your expertise.
Okay, so that could be like
Courses, workshops, conferences,
joining groups in your industry,
industry groups, webinars, finding a mentor.
surrounding yourself with people
Exactly.
who know more than you.
Who know more than you.
Yeah.
And the third one, this might seem counterintuitive, leaving money on the table.
Wait, what? How is that investing?
Because sometimes a smaller paycheck now
Yeah.
or a less fancy title
Yeah.
could lead to huge growth down the line.
So like short-term pain,
Short-term pain.
long-term gain kind of thing.
For long-term gain, imagine you get this corporate job offer.
Big salary.
Great benefits, right. But then a former colleague reaches out.
Okay.
They've got this startup. The pay is way lower,
Way lower.
longer hours, but
The potential.
the potential is huge. Learning, growth, equity
Yeah.
that's investing in yourself.
So taking a chance on something that might be a little bit riskier,
Absolutely.
but could have a bigger payoff down the line.
Exactly. It's about being strategic
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
and really knowing what you want.
Knowing your risk tolerance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Long-term vision.
Love that. Now, for our listeners who are like, all right, I'm ready to be an entrepreneur, the guide has a very specific recommendation. Service-based business.
Interesting.
Build it to sell it.
Instead of pouring your heart and soul into something, you'll run for decades.
Right. Which is usually what we hear
Right.
the traditional way.
The traditional way. He's saying create a profitable service business
Okay.
that you can scale, and then when the time is right,
Sell,
sell it.
cash out, move on.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
More flexibility.
More flexibility, yeah.
Out control.
You're not tied to one thing forever.
You're not married to it.
Exactly.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, so let's say you're amazing at web design.
Okay.
You build user-friendly websites like nobody's business.
Okay.
But instead of just freelancing, you build an agency.
Okay.
You systemize everything.
So you can scale it,
Exactly. Bring on other designers. And once it's profitable, in high demand,
then you can sell that.
you sell it
Wow.
to another firm.
So it's like you're building an asset
Yes,
that you can then cash in on later,
exactly.
rather than, like we said, being tied to this one business forever.
Right. Totally different way of thinking about entrepreneurship.
Love it. It's like building a valuable asset that you can eventually cash in, rather than being tethered to a single business indefinitely.
Exactly. It's a different way of thinking about entrepreneurship, one that prioritizes flexibility and strategic exit planning.
This entire deep dive has been a masterclass in reframing our approach to success.
I like that.
But what about those of us who feel like we're playing catch up, you know? Maybe we didn't spend our early years strategically dabbing in them or focusing on those A-plus problems. Is it too late?
That's the beauty of this framework.
Yeah.
It's not limited by age or where you are in your career.
Okay, good.
Even if you feel like you're starting a bit later, you can still embrace these principles and see incredible results.
So it's never too late to have that day one mentality,
Never too late.
to uncover your unicycle bear,
Find that bear.
or to start engineering your own luck.
Exactly. And you can start right now.
Okay, so how? How do we do that if we're a little bit later in the game?
Analyze your current situation, your skills, your experiences, the opportunities in your field, and identify the A-plus problems that will make the biggest impact.
Okay, so even if we're not at the beginning of our careers,
Right.
we can still look for those A-plus problems.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to reach out to people who are doing what you want to do, even if they seem out of your league.
So true. Networking is so key no matter what stage you're at.
It's huge. You never know what can come from a simple conversation or a well-crafted email.
This is actually really empowering. It's like we have more control over our success than we think.
We really do. It's about shifting your mindset, being strategic, and taking action. You're not just a passive bystander in your own career.
Love that. And speaking of taking action, let's talk about another way we can invest in ourselves. Building a personal brand.
Yes, this is crucial in today's world, no matter what your field is.
It's like your online reputation is everything these days.
It really is. It's how people find you, how they perceive you, how they decide whether or not to trust you and your expertise.
So how do we even begin to build a strong personal brand?
Well, first, think about what you want to be known for.
What's my unique value proposition? My unicycle bear.
Exactly. Once you have that clarity, you can start creating content, blog posts, articles, videos, social media updates that showcase your expertise and your unique perspective.
So basically, share your knowledge with the world. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yes, and be consistent. Building a brand takes time and effort, but it's one of the best investments you can make in your long-term success.
Okay, so we've talked about reframing success, finding our unique edge, engineering our own luck, investing in ourselves.
And building our personal brands.
It's a lot to think about, but I feel like we've covered some really great actionable stuff.
Yeah, it's all about taking those principles and making them your own, you know.
Yeah, like finding what works for you. Now, throughout this whole deep dive, we've been talking about hitting that $1 million mark. And I think there's this assumption, at least for me, that it's like this huge, daunting
Mountain to climb.
Yeah, and it's like reserved for a select few.
Right, right.
But this guide seems to be saying it's more attainable
Way more attainable
than we think.
than we think, especially when you shift your mindset like we've been talking about.
Okay, so if we're not all aiming to be like the next tech billionaire,
Right.
which, let's be real, most of us aren't,
Yeah.
what does a more realistic vision of $1 million success look like?
So it might be building that service business we talked about.
Yeah.
Getting it to a point where it runs smoothly
Yeah.
even without you.
Okay, so it's systemized.
Systemized, you've got a great team,
Yeah.
and then it's generating consistent income.
Passive income.
Passive income, exactly. Or maybe it's a combination of different income streams.
Okay, so multiple things going on.
Yeah, you could have your main gig, maybe a side hustle that takes off.
Yeah, like that freelance work.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Real estate investments, whatever lights you up.
So it's not just one path.
Not one path fits all.
It's finding your own.
Find your own path, diversify.
Okay, so it's more holistic than just like one job.
Totally.
The business.
It's about designing a life
Right.
that gives you both financial freedom
Yeah.
and the flexibility to pursue your passions.
Because ultimately, isn't that what we all want?
I think so.
Yeah. To have the freedom to do what we want
Yeah.
when we want.
Without worrying about money all the time.
Yeah, to have those choices.
Exactly.
And that's what this all boils down to, right?
It's
It's about choices.
Having the choices, yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been amazing. Really eye-opening.
Glad to hear it.
Lots to think about, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom?
I would just say, don't wait. There's no better time than now to take action.
Yeah, no more excuses, right?
No more excuses. Start small, start today.
Even if it's just one thing, one step.
Exactly. Just keep moving forward.
Love it. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into my $0 to $1 million guide. Hope you enjoyed the ride.
Me too. It's been fun.
As always, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.